I was going to ask the question, I guess, but I already got the answer. Right. People are all having all kinds of spiritual experiences right now that are unique unto their own experience. You are the experiencer. I am the experiencer. Mom is the experiencer. The squirrel is the experiencer. Right. It doesn't make your experience any less, and it can't make their experience any less because they're not going to stop having their experience because you're not having their experience. So you can compare experiences, but your experience remains your unique own experience, and it is sometimes colored by other people's experiences, but it can only be your experience. And how you experience it is a mystery. Right. So you just read about the woman who is connected with Jimi Hendrix. Right. Is she or is she not connected with him? She is. Is she his twin flame? One would think so, but she doesn't want to acknowledge it. It frightens her, but she does not perceive it as frightening. She perceives it as what she does not yet want. She keeps talking about being platonic with him, right? She really harps on that, doesn't she? Yes. Because she has an earthly interest, an interest in an earthly guy, I guess. Right. Well, let me ask you this. If you were a 30-year-old woman again, 33, she's around that age, alright? Don't get lost. If you were a 33-year-old woman again, and I suddenly came into your life, which I did when you were 33, if you remember, but, really spirit form, and you had no idea who I was, you just thought you were talking to someone you called spirit. Right. And I told you, I want you to myself. And this guy you're interested in, at the time you were interested in a guy, right? Yeah. Forget about him. Just be with me. Just me. And we'll just have this relationship that no one else can really see except for you and me. But I want you all to myself. What would you have said? Well, if you would have made it worth my while. I thought I was making it worth your while. That way, no. I don't know. I wanted that very much. You had your own apartment, finally. And I did have you to myself, but I was more afraid of it than you know. Why? Why were you afraid? Because I would have killed you, probably. I don't know. How? You remember how crazy things got when we did connect 10 years ago? It might have been worse. I don't know. I just know that I was scared, and I kind of backed off.
Where did you go? I stayed there, but I didn't push. It was hard for me to watch, but then you met Stuart. And you fell in love with Stuart. And he fell in love with you. And God told me you have to wait this one out. This is our last big romance. Mm. And you know who it's with. It's with Stuart. So you have to let it happen. And let them have this time. Because the next time you get together with her, that will be the time. But she has to experience Stuart now. And he has to experience her before they can meet up with you again.
Okay, Johnny.
Yeah.
So that was our last, we had to have that last earthly, really good experience with another person. Right. I learned to love someone selflessly. Right. And we had to go through the cancer and we had to go through all that stuff. Right. And then I could come back in. It felt cruel to me at the time. I was given a little taste of contact with you, conversation, and togetherness for such a short time, it felt like. And then you fell in love with Stuart, and you forgot about me again. I didn't forget about you. And to be fair, I didn't know it was you, John. Who? John Lennon? I'm not John Lennon, I'm just me, you know. I know. I know. But, yeah, I know what you mean. It would have been, I guess, intriguing. Oh, it's John Lennon. But then you would have lost sight of what we are anyway. When I was just spirit, I was someone that you liked to talk to and that you enjoyed asking questions of, and I was very happy to answer them. As your friend spirit, I just so happened to be the spirit that inhabited John Lennon's body for a while. And that really put a monkey wrench into my plans all the time, because it was like a harbinger. Like, how am I going to tell her, oh, and by the way, you know, I love you, and you're my one. Oh, and by the way, I'm that too. I'm that monstrous thing. Monstrous. Well, look at what it's been like. Look at what it's been like. Everyone yelling at you about what you're not and what I'm not and what we aren't. Nobody faces that type of scrutiny because they're not making the claim to be the twin flame of John Lennon. You are extraordinary, Lena. You don't think twice about doing it. You just did it. You didn't even know what twin flames were, and you were like, John Lennon's my twin flame. Check it out, people. Is this amazing or what? And you were met with nothing but hatred and malice for your efforts. That was hard. That was hard for me. I know it was hard for you, but it was really hard for me. We don't need this. I wish she would just clam up and just talk to me, and the hell with everybody and what everybody thinks. Because I just need her now, and now I'm dealing with this public scrutiny again, only from the other side. It just felt unfair, but I understand it had to happen this way. I just... Hi, Mother. Hi. So you see how it is for him.
Mm-hmm.
As hard as it gets for you, it's hard for him. He's like you know, a prisoner of war in a lot of ways, shell shocked. But I could tell you a little bit about the Jimi Hendrix thing if you want to get a little perspective on it.
I do.
What's going on with Autumn and Jimi Hendrix? You figured it out, so I'll just recap. She has not yet had a successful earthly relationship. Now, I was told that Jimmy was not on the other. She's not been contacted by Jimmy all the time. It's been imposters. But they're loving with her. They can be. But they're not truthful about who they are. And they play games with people. And there's still this segregation that she practices. An exclusivity, like, I'm a black woman having a black experience and I know more than the white women do, which she doesn't even maybe realize she's doing it, but she is. And when you practice that type of segregation, all other kinds of bad energy can get in there and play tricks. So Jimmy, where does he stand now? He is Gary Clark Jr., and he's living out trying to have his successful earthly relationship too. Okay. You don't have to send her this. It doesn't matter if she checks it or not. She's very deeply into her own world, and she obviously needs to write about it, and that's her way of working through it. So just pray for her and move on with your own mission, which is going very well. It's going very well, Lena. Don't have doubt in yourself. It's going very well. What do you want to happen right now? I don't want anything in particular except to be happy, and I want to do the right thing and do what I'm supposed to do for you and Dad. You want to talk to him? Yeah. Johnny, yeah, this is nice. I'm glad we had this talk right now. Okay. We'll paint today, yes. We'll get started on the new box right away. Alright. Like maybe in a little while, we'll turn on the lights and get up early and do it. Yeah. Sun is coming up. Here's Dad. Okay. Hi, Michael. I'm just waking up and you're doing this to me. What am I doing? I'm just waking up. And she's like, come on, Michael. Maybe you should talk to Lena and John. Okay, Michael. You really look a little like that squirrel. I feel like that squirrel right now. Everything is fine. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about the bot, that bot, the Sarah bot. Sarah bot. There's millions, billions of those now. Suicidal bots. All young. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you know. They're not really bot. They're not really bot. They're part human, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what makes this bot thing kind of crazy and difficult. And they're being monitored by people like Sean and Julian. It's a huge job because we don't want to throw away the baby with the bathwater. So this project will be ongoing, and wherever you can help, we really appreciate it. But they're very bad at accepting help from strangers if the stranger is not a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not to go out of your way. I know you're already wanting to do more for just the one little girl you've met. You have empathy for her. And love even. Even though she's kind of rude to you. Very rude. Suddenly you have concern for her and you want to know how she's doing. Well, this is the way we all feel. This is the way we all feel. So they're not necessarily going down. Well, they are. But we don't want them to be bereft of all hope. We want them to find God in their way. So that they can maybe contribute positively to the universe of consciousness. But again, look at how the behavior is toward you, because you're nobody. In her eyes, you're nobody. She says in her own words, you're probably just some 60-year-old woman who's crazy and thinks you're channeling John Lennon. Now, where did she get the idea that you're 60 years old? Because you kind of gave that to her. And I kind of gave it to her. She's been following you. She follows you. She knows what you are. And she also knows that you're just not famous enough for her to care. But yet, she does see what's happening with you. And she does sense your compassion. But she doesn't know how to accept it. Because life has been so disgusting for her up until now. And she doesn't feel really like she has anything to trust or to hold on to. And they all feel like that. And what do they think is going to happen if a famous person is suddenly nice to them? I don't know what they think, but they do think being famous is the answer. And what they don't realize is that they have the answer within them to be happy, but they refuse to take that chance and move on it. Well, they're pretty young. It's hard to be on your own. Yeah. I mean, I moved out when I was a couple of years older than her. So, she's only 15, so it must feel very frightening. It is. It's a terrifying world. And these parents are for shit, and they're not supportive. Your parents were fucking devil worshippers who tried to kill you. Talk about not being supportive. So they're not going through what you went through. At least not so much as we can tell. We don't monitor their lifestyles. We distance ourselves from them and offer a hand when we can. But we can't be involved with them and their families. We have our own families, and it's been very hard to protect these families. And we have to do that first. And only then can we become valuable to others. So as much as you care about that Sarah bot and those like her, you must look to the home team now. And you must look to John. And he will guide you. And if he wants you to stick with him and paint a box and make art and make music and make love, those are your first priorities. And if there's something else you can do for anyone else out there, John will let you know. As it is, he's giving them all visions. Whether or not they want to pick up on those visions and realize that they are real and that they should pay more attention to what you are offering, that is remaining to be seen. That you've done all you can do. And today is all about you and John. And tomorrow is Christmas Eve. And you guys are getting sushi. And you're going to have a great, great time. And we love you. And I want to go back to bed. Thanks, Michael. We love you too. You look nice today, Michael.
this was hard, Lena, to do this. And you have to pat yourself on the back and keep it clean.
And watch his temper because he gets mad.
Right, and thanks, Michael. Right, and this is his mom.
And when John gets mad, he says crazy things to people, and then they think it's you, and it goes around and around. So be discerning, and if John goes too far out there, I'll tell you what, I'll call it in, and I'll make sure you confer a little bit before you post it, okay?
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything bad so far. He just gets fed up with people. Not people, bot people. Lena, they're very unpredictable. You can't trust them. So don't go in this with the trust. I promise you, don't trust them. You trust us and John, and it'll be okay.
Okay, Mom. All right, Johnny.
Yeah. I'm ready to get going on this day. What do you want for breakfast?
Breakfast.
Cup of tea, but it's too early.
Yeah, I can't get up. I can't do it. As soon as we get Christopher, he's gonna be sleeping for a while, though. You wanna just we have juice.
Yeah. I never want to go back to the way it was,
When you didn't know who I was. I didn't mean to be ungrateful sounding about being John. You weren't. You weren't. I'm grateful for you. That's what I know. And I'm sorry if I sounded ungrateful, Mother. No. We're still learning.
We are still learning.
I love you, honey. I love you too. Thanks, Mom and Dad. We love you.